Good afternoon and welcome to Eli's Uber, with me of course, Eli Bulwark. It's currently a Sunday afternoon. I'm just after a bit of a weekend of night shifts. A lot of driving, covered over 600 miles between Friday and Saturday alone, so quite a heavy couple of days. I'd actually intended to have a video uploaded for you guys on the Friday. Unfortunately there was some issues, so I went back out on Friday afternoon, I re-recorded it and there was the same issue, so I finally figured out what it is. So this one will go up, all things considered. So, and you know, it's funny because obviously that is just some minor setbacks of starting up a new channel, is figuring out the technical issues and stuff, and that's pretty much what the video was about in the first place, was dealing with setbacks and the way that I've sort of started to progress through things. So in this video I'll be talking a bit about mental health. I'll be talking a bit about, you know, just generally sticking to your goals or rewriting your goals, whatever you have to do. So yeah, I mean, basically I've just come off a tough couple of weeks there, sort of somewhat mentally draining, somewhat tiring, and a couple of disappointments in there. In my video of making things happen, you've probably seen that I mentioned I had an opportunity come by for me, and at first it didn't look like I was going to be able to take the opportunity, but it then transpired that I could. So I was looking forward to it, I got myself prepared, and unfortunately that opportunity fell through. And what it was a consistent sort of run of bookings that was going to keep me wrestling quite regularly. It was going to help me learn an awful lot, and you know, there was a couple of things that I'd been looking forward to because it was a good platform for me to try some new things that I'd been wanting to try in my head and stuff like that. So when I lost them, it did knock me a little bit. I must admit, you know, it was a business decision that cost me it in the end, and I respect that, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't sting, you know. So I was pretty down about that. Had a couple of other issues with you know, sort of personal life, things like that, and Uber had messed my bank details up, so I was short on pay and stuff like that around about the time when all my bills were coming out, and it was just like, you know, how am I going to get out of this hole? And what happened in the end was, at one of the shows I was at, one of the wrestling shows, backstage, I had a conversation with someone. Now if he's listening he'll know who he is, and I can't appreciate it enough, but I basically just had a chance to get it off my chest and you know, chat to someone. And what he made me realise was that, you know, the issues that I was having, the reason I was feeling down, you know, these are only short-term issues. They're not going to be long-term problems, they're easy fixed. So it might all seem that because it's all happening at the same time, it overwhelms you a little bit. And that's what happened with me. I was overwhelmed. I was like, oh man, you know, am I ever going to get a break, blah blah blah. And the truth is, I've been more fortunate than I have been unfortunate with these sort of things. So I think that was just my first taste of a sort of rough patch, I guess. But you know, excuse me, but you know, that's part of business, I guess, is, you know, dealing with minor setbacks. I'd also a little bit lost my confidence through, again, a variety of reasons. I'd lost my confidence in myself. I hadn't been training, as I mentioned previously. I set the goals to go back, and what I fast realised is that I need to stop thinking about what others think of me too much, and stop worrying about whether they're judging me for going after my dreams, sort of thing. I mean, part of going after something is making mistakes, but it's about being able to try again. And I'm actually pretty disappointed because I should be training right now, but what happened was I came off the night shift and I forgot to set my alarm and I slept in. So I woke up this afternoon, I've missed training, but you know, rather than fret about it, I've messaged the guys, I've rescheduled, I'll go in another day, make up for lost time. And that's the sort of attitude that I had been lacking for quite some time, and I think it was all due to, you know, if I deal with these things head on, I might have to deal with a bit of confrontation, a bit of conflict, but inevitably, if you just ignore these things, conflict's going to find you anyway, and you're going to have to confront it. So it's better to deal with it head on, and you can deal with it in a controlled way, as opposed to things just happening for you. So another thing that had been bringing me down is, I've been dealing with depression, anxiety, and a large part of that had also been to do with worrying about other people judging me, etc. What happened was, a couple of weeks ago, someone left a number in my car, and they left a number for a company called Lifelink. So Lifelink is a mental health organisation. They can talk to you about sort of a variety of things. I mean, they don't necessarily specialise in the likes of people with gambling addictions or things like that, but that being said, they can still counsel you and put you in touch with the appropriate organisations. So someone left this number for me, and I left it, but it was once I had this conversation with this person backstage, I thought, you know what, let's give it a try. So I went onto the website instead. I self-referred myself, and that was on the Monday, and by the Thursday I'd had my first consultation. And I must admit, as much as it was a rather informal consultation for being the first one, it still helped massively realise, because you're just putting things out there for someone to listen to, and this person doesn't necessarily have an opinion on your life. They can only see it from a third party point of view, and I think that's really good, actually, because you don't feel like you're being judged, and you don't feel like you have to worry about people judging you when you're sitting in that room. It was daunting at first. It took me a little bit of time to start to open up, and you sometimes feel a bit silly with some of the things you're seeing, because in the grand scheme of things, they might not be massive problems, but it's the fact that all these small problems are added up and eating away at you, so you still have to address them, you still have to look at them. And the outcome of the consultation was that I think we both realised that long term, Lifelink possibly won't be able to help myself, but they knew exactly who could, which was fantastic. And what they've done is they've put me forward to a couple of other organisations who I think going forward I'm going to be going speaking to them. And this week, I must admit, has probably been the most positive I've felt in quite some time. I'm feeling more relaxed. I'm eager to keep on working. I went back to training. I loved it. I've been hammering out the gym. I've been stepping up my cardio game. I've been writing extra goals now. So the goals thing is something that I'm quite big on, and I mentioned it again in my video of making things happen. But when I dealt with this setback of, right, I've just lost a week's worth of bookings, what am I going to do? And I thought, well, you know what, I've lost this this booking, but this is an opportunity for me to go and make money by sticking to Uber and hammering out the miles on Uber, and I've done exactly that. So your goals don't have to be long-term things. They can be a goal for that day, they can be a goal for that week, month, whatever, but it's very satisfying when you achieve a goal. And if even if you don't achieve it, at least you've tried. And if you haven't tried, if you haven't achieved it, you can at least say, well, I tried this is what went wrong, so how can I fix this, and move forward with it. And honestly, like, I couldn't believe that I waited so long to actually go and speak to someone, especially because I am such a big advocate. If you follow me on social media, you know that I spend a lot of time talking about mental health and my own situations and stuff like that, but I'd never thought about speaking to a professional. I do believe, and I've said this before, I do believe that if you can speak to a friend, then you can speak to a professional. I just never ever acted upon it myself, so finally took my own advice and I finally spoke to a professional. And you know what, there's too many people unfortunately taking their own lives this year. I've lost 3 friends this year already to suicide, And you know, if you check the news in Glasgow, and I'm only just talking about Glasgow, there's still the rest of the UK and the rest of the world to think about. You know, it's consistent. You're constantly seeing bodies getting recovered from the River Clyde, or hearing about other people's passings and things like that. So I think that it's time that people start to get a bit proactive with it, and I've decided to take that upon myself and be proactive, because I don't see why no one can benefit from these resources. And honestly, if these videos myself can encourage at least one person to go and seek what they are needing, then I'm happy. I'm really happy with that, to be honest. And it's a hard game to play, and it's a big step up. And you know, as much as we always say, oh, it's tough for men to talk, it can be just as tough for women to speak up as well. And the advice goes both ways. I think everyone should be ready. If they feel like there's nowhere else to turn to, then go speak to a professional, because you've nothing to lose, put it that way, by going. But you've only got everything to gain from it. And this, as I say, I can't stress like how positive I'm feeling this week, despite the fact I've just went through a rough couple of weeks. And it's mainly been through speaking and making goals. But I wouldn't have set these goals if I didn't speak to anyone. So, yeah, you know, this is the things that we need to look at. So yeah, I hope you have had a good week, and you know, you are all set for a good week ahead. I am definitely set for a good week ahead. Got a week long of working away. I'm going to be probably playing a bit of video games on my downtime for Monday tomorrow. Monday's my sort of downtime day. And then I'm going to hammer it for the week, and then we've got a wrestling show on Sunday. So I am pretty excited about this week ahead, and I hope yous are too. So yeah, have a good one.